Hello, I'm Ben Park, coming to you from the GBTA VDR Conference 2024 in partnership with the Nordic Business Travel Association in Copenhagen. Joining me today at the broadcast studio is Paul Crawley, Vice President Sales, North EMEA from Emburse. So Paul, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here in Copenhagen with you, Ben.
What an amazing city, yeah?
Yeah.
So let's get started. I've got two easy questions and one difficult for you.
Okay, I think I can cope with that.
Good. So the first one is the tough one, of course.
Yeah.
So why should companies care about an integrated travel and expense management tool?
So that is a good question. It's a tough question. We've been talking about integrated T&E for years now. And at Emburse, we believe we're kind of the inflection point of something quite exciting. So I think integrated, T&E, what we've been used to with travel and expense systems is the expense systems typically are reliant on paper receipts to capture company spend, travelers spend. More recently, with the proliferation of company cards and virtual credit cards, we've been able to add more data to help populate the expense report. When you integrate travel and expense, you're able to consume more travel data to enrich the expense report even further. And what that means for business travelers, it means that they can have expense reports automatically completed. So there is very little for them to do. I mean, who likes doing their expense report at the end of a trip, right? So as light as we can make that, is better for the traveler, it's better for the finance team. So that's where the travel data comes in. So when we pull travel data from a TMC or from a booking engine, we can bring in information like what airline you're flying, what class you're flying, the dates and the times, all of which help us to auto-populate the expense report, meaning there's less and less for the traveler to do. So they can focus on the journey rather than, focus on the outcomes of the journey rather than the trip itself.
Good, and that's so exciting news with the integration. And I think you pointed it out. I think if we ask for an NPS score on who likes expense reports, it wouldn't look good. So thanks for making that easier.
Well, at Emburse, ironically, as an expense supplier, our goal is to try and eliminate the expense report entirely. And that's what the travel data can help us do. It's kind of the missing link, between getting that expense report automatically created. Whereas now, typically, there's a little bit of manual entry required. But the travel data is really where the magic happens.
Good. And now one question basically from the travel supplier's choice is, so what factors should T&E managers, buyers, use to determine their choice of a supplier?
Yeah, so on the expense side, there are a number of different things. The first thing is, what I would always encourage companies to do, whether they are new to expense management or whether they've got an existing system that they've just outgrown, is two things fundamentally. Firstly, solve for today. Be clear about what your objectives are, whether it's a better traveler experience, whether it's real-time finance, whether it's data analytics. Set those objectives, really clearly, and have your supplier illustrate to you how you can meet those, objectives through that new system. The other key difference, I think, are the integration points. So with expense systems, there are lots of different integration points which can help make the system more streamlined and more automated. For example, travel data is an obvious one. But also from an expense perspective, we want to have employee data which can come from an HR system so that we can automatically route my expenses to my manager, that comes from the HR system. And then all the way through to the ERP integration as well. Within the expense world, when you're putting in an expense solution, really important that it connects seamlessly to all of those business systems. So that's the second point. The third point I would say is choose a supplier who has a clear vision for the future. So not only can they meet your requirements today, but it's very clear and they're a partner for you to understand how your business is going to evolve in future and how they can continue to support you for 5, 10 years. I think that's critically important in a choice of supplier. So my recommendation is to look at those three things.
No, thank you. And so integration is a big topic.
Absolutely.
But the third question is, again, the tough one. And I can't let you go without using the buzzword of generative AI.
AI.
So
yeah.
Finally, tell me the Emburse position on generative AI and how this will change the future of T&E.
There's some really exciting stuff, and what I will say about AI is it's being used a lot as a buzzword, at the moment. And actually, the way I think about AI is I try to think about the use cases, the real world problems that AI is going to solve for business travelers and for finance teams. So we're well stuck in with this at Emburse. We are developing our own large language models, and today they're helping us really understand receipts, and receipts data. What is on an image? What's the date? What is the merchant? We can extract quite a lot of additional information that AI can help us with to populate an expense report. Looking forward, there's loads of possibilities. A simple one maybe that you're familiar with today is having an AI bot to help us query our company expense policy. Again, some company expense policies, they can be pages and pages long. You don't want to read them, nobody does. But having a bot is a quick win, to be able to do that. And then we can start thinking about other things like gap detection. And what I mean by that is that we're at the conference here. I'm flying out to the airport tomorrow morning. When I submit my expense report, if I forget to put a taxi receipt through for my ground transportation, a great expense management system that uses AI can flag that for me to say, hey, how did you get from the Bella Center to the airport? Did you have a taxi ride? So there's some really clever things like that. The other use of AI, which I've seen in some consumer finance packages, are tell me my top 3 merchants where I can make additional savings. Things. So really using the analytics data to help you manage your spend more wisely and get your company more compliant and to policy.
Really fascinating, and so much to learn for all of us on generative AI.
Absolutely.
And I guess your tool will not accept teleportation as a reason code to get from here to the airport. Good. So really exciting, and thanks so much. I can't wait to see more from Emburse and tell us about the future of generative AI. So Paul, thank you once again for joining us today. I really appreciate your time and your views, so thank you very much.
Wonderful, pleasure. Thank you.
So once again, I'm Ben Park from the GBTA board, along with Paul from Emburse, coming to you from the broadcast studio at the GBTA VDR Conference 2024 in partnership with the Nordic Business Travel Association from Copenhagen. Thank you for watching.